Good evening. Something needs to be done. The impassioned plea from an Aberdeenshire family whose father died while waiting for an ambulance. Harry de Vries died after suffering a heart attack in January. The Scottish Ambulance Service say they were experiencing delays of around 3 hours at Aberdeen Royal Infirmary on the night he died. It's further evidence of the pressure NHS Grampian is facing as they try to balance the books and reduce ambulance waiting times. Gráinne Grehan has been speaking to Harry's family.
I want something to be done, that it doesn't happen to anybody else.
In the early hours of the 12th of January, Sinead's father Harry suffered a heart attack while visiting his family in Scotland. An ambulance was called. Harry's grandchildren had to perform CPR until they arrived.
We also took turns of CPR because after about 5 minutes of CPR you'd get absolutely exhausted.
It was definitely not a situation we had imagined, especially with our parents gone, and yeah. But everyone who came on scene afterward was very nice, very helpful.
Although the call was identified as immediately life-threatening, it took nearly 40 minutes for an ambulance to come. But tragically, Harry was pronounced dead once they arrived.
All the local ambulances close to us were tied up at the ARI. There was an average turnaround time of 1 hour and 40 minutes on that early Sunday morning. So they couldn't release our local ambulance because it was tied up at Aberdeen Royal Infirmary. So they had to dispatch ambulance further afield.
Because if the ambulance would have been earlier, it might have been that he was taken to hospital, and at that time then there would be a doctor pronouncing him dead, which would have helped us as well to get my dad back to the Netherlands quicker.
A spokesperson for the Scottish Ambulance Service has apologised to the family, stating ambulances arriving to Aberdeen Royal Infirmary were experiencing delays of nearly 3 hours at that time. They also said that hospital delays at both ARI and Dr Gray's Hospital are continuing to put significant pressure on the ambulance service. Delays which they say prevent ambulance crews from getting back onto the road to treat other patients like Harry. NHS Grampian say they have protocols in place to allow the rapid release of ambulances if they're needed to attend an emergency call, and that they continue to work closely with the Scottish Ambulance Service.
I apologise to anybody who has suffered any delay, unacceptable delay in accessing services in any part of the country. And that is exactly why we are seeking to intervene here to see us improve the position around the ambulance stacking that's been taking place outside Aberdeen Royal Infirmary.
A critical incident was declared at Aberdeen Royal Infirmary last year as the hospital experienced problems with long queues for ambulances at its A&E. The Health Board's finances have also been under pressure. NHS Grampian has borrowed tens of millions from the Scottish Government, and now it faces more scrutiny. But with a further £23 million to save before the 7th of June, concerns have been raised about how that'll impact patient care.
NHS Grampian needs scrutiny. It is failing on so many different levels, and constituents, particularly regarding rural healthcare, need answers.
Harry's family are now calling for immediate action from the health service to ensure no other family has to go through what they did.
We would like something to be done about it, and that nobody goes through this like we had to go through.
Well, Gráinne is here. It's such a tragic case there, Gráinne, and especially harrowing for the grandchildren as well. Have things improved since?
Well, Andrea, of course, the situation has been going on for some time now, but back in January, the average turnaround time for ambulances at NHS Grampian was just over 1 hour. Now, that includes both Aberdeen Royal Infirmary and Dr Gray's Hospital in Elgin as well. But the most recent figures released in April show that there's very little difference since then. And then we're now looking at 1 hour and a quarter for turnaround time.
So we heard the Health Minister apologise in your report. What are NHS Grampians saying?
Well, they say that the safety of patients, staff and indeed those working for the ambulance service is given the highest priority. They also say that the average ambulance turnaround time is no indication for the time taken for emergency cases to be seen. They also say they've emphasised that staff are now able to assess patients while waiting in ambulances. But of course, we've just heard from the family and they've emphasised that it's about ensuring ambulances are freed up as quickly as possible to get back onto the road and respond to those emergency calls. And they're calling for urgent action to prevent this happening again.
Grania, thank you.